Hi Pisces, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your December 2024 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, the Celtic Cross spread as always, and I also pulled the 4 agreements and with me oracle card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off on rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have Libra. So for you guys, Libra is actually your 8th house of death, rebirth, intimacy, and investments. Astrologically speaking, we have the South Node wrapping up its transit there. It's going to move on early next year. All right, 5. So 5th house energy for you guys is Cancer. Astrologically speaking, it's a little quiet there now, but in general, 5th house points to romance, creativity, children. And we have Neptune. So Neptune's been in your sign for a really long time, and it's actually retrograde currently, but right at the end of the first week of December, it'll start moving direct again. Alright, so we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Tower, and challenging that, we have the Hanged Man. So for some of you, this could just be saying you might go through a Tower moment this month, and then the challenge would be for you to actually take some, set some time aside to actually process what was meant to be learned from that situation. The Tower, in the moment, it seems sudden, but it's usually tied to something that has been lingering for a long time, and it's been neglected in some way. So that could be what's at play for you guys there. And for others of you, this seems less likely, but another way it could be coming across could just be saying that if you were to embrace that hangman energy of, really just staying deep in thought and trying to look through a situation, you might have a Tower moment as more of an epiphany, where you suddenly get an insight into what might have went wrong with a situation in the past. In the foundation position, we have the Devil. So this could just be saying ultimately there was a connection in your life, most likely, that was hard to separate from, because there was something that you ultimately needed to learn from it. And that could be why that Tower and Hangman are in the positions they are, which is to say that once you finally do learn from the situation, then you'll be released from it with the Tower at that point. Alright, past position, we have Temperance. So this could just be saying for some of you might have felt like a lot more sure of yourselves in the recent past, right, to where you wouldn't have necessarily been involved in a moment like that, but for whatever reason, it seems like you started to lose that clarity in the present. Alright, in the present position, we have the Page of Wands. So the Maiden shows ultimately that you do have a curiosity, right? You do want to learn from the situation for sure. So to me, this looks like a proactive energy. So it could just be saying that through you doing so, you might actually finally crack the case. Alright, in the near future position, we have the Three of Cups. So this is Cancer energy for you guys, which technically came up in your dice because that is your 5th house. So could just be saying that in the near future, you're finally going to feel like you have that reason to celebrate, right? So given that 5th house could point to romance, creativity, if there was some kind of creative project you were working on, then maybe you felt like you had like a writer's block, right? Could just be saying that might finally free up for you guys. If this is more of a romantic connection, same thing, right? You might finally break free from a connection that you ultimately found to be toxic because you finally did learn what you needed to from the situation. Right, the position of your influence in a situation, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So for a lot of you, to me, that makes the Tower moment seem a little less dramatic, because to me, it's saying that for a lot of you, it's actually you guys who are putting that Tower moment into play, because you're coming to these realizations, you're freeing yourselves from these situations, and just because it felt like ultimately you felt like the timing was right, was finally start doing so. In the environment position, we have the Emperor. So yeah, so this could just be saying that maybe you spent some time where you felt like everything needed to be done a certain way, right? So that could have been what was causing a blockage for you. Maybe you were too rigid around the situation, or for some of you, this could just represent someone that you've been dealing with, and that could have been what was causing blockages there too. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Three of Swords. So yeah, so for a lot of you, I would assume this is a fear, doesn't like the type of energy someone would hope for, right? So yeah, it could just be saying that maybe ultimately that's the blockage, right? So this might even be a situation that's not even physically in your life anymore, but you've been holding on to some heartbreak and disappointment from it, and that could have been what was causing blockages in your newer connections. Right, in the outcome position, we have the Three of Pentacles. So this is usually an energy to me that points to collaboration, right? And building something beautiful, something that you'd be happy with. So whether that be a romantic connection, friendships, right? Something with your career. Looks like that's what's going to be at play for you guys in the outcome position, which is another indicator that, yeah, ultimately you will free yourselves up from whatever the blockage was from your past. And then in doing so, you'll start to see positive momentum forward, especially given that this card represents the middle 10 degrees of Capricorn, which is pretty much going to move us right into January. So the timing seems to line up there. All right. Bottom of the deck, we have the Hermit. So this is actually the major arcana card for Virgo. So yeah, so for some of you, maybe this is more of a romantic thing than maybe you came to a realization where you could have possibly been getting in your own way when it came to those types of connections. And now that you figure that out, start to clear things out, it seems to improve your situation. All right, from the Four Agreements deck, we have Always Do Your Best. And it says Don't Overdo. All right, it says Always do your best, but don't overdo. When you overdo, you deplete your body and go against yourself, and it will take you longer to accomplish your goal. It's an interesting message there. I will say that does make me think of the fact that we'll have Mars retrograde starting around the 5th or 6th of December and going through the rest of that month. And that's going to be in Leo, which is your 6th house of, health, daily routines. So if you guys are pushing yourselves in some way, right, if you set some goal for yourselves, things along those lines there, I feel like the cautionary message there is to watch out, from possible overexertion where you could end up burning yourselves out and then falling behind anyway. From the Wisdom of the Oracle, we have a change in the wind. There's the artwork, and the number is 12. Interesting. 12 is also the number of the Hanged Man, so could be a connection there, but we'll see what it has to say. All right, essential meanings says the sense that unseen change has been initiated, preparation for a storm, awareness that your plans are not on firm ground, feeling a shift, uncertainty about which direction the wind will blow. The Oracle's message: it's human nature to yearn for certainty and resist change, to want the world to remain consistent like a zebra's stripes. Yet nothing in human experience is black and white, nor will anything remain static. The one thing guaranteed is change. Now is the time of transformation, as outer conditions are temporarily moving out of sync with your desires and expectations. Stay the course and remember that even storms serve to clear the air, scatter seeds, and nourish the soil for better things ahead. Life is about to get interesting. Anticipate it with curiosity as you wonder what is coming in on shifting winds. The unknown is where the magic lies. Yeah, definitely an interesting message there, right? Because it can point to, at least in a similar note to what we were talking about, where maybe a tower moment might come along to remove something from your lives, but then that seems to clear blockage as long as you're able to integrate what it was meant to teach you. All right, the relationship message says relationships go through periods where partners seem out of sync with each other, and stormy emotions and moods threaten to take down the ship. Perhaps someone has a change of heart and leaves. These rough seas offer opportunities for mutual growth, a way for you to understand your own heart better and to know what you need to truly be happy. Rest assured that whatever is happening now, good will come from it. Take temporary shelter and remove yourself from drama. The air will clear and everything will be fresh and new again. This too shall pass. So yeah, definitely an interesting message there for those of you who are in a relationship already, and maybe if you guys get into some kind of an argument and that's the tower moment, I feel like that's saying that ultimately, if you just give it some time, more likely the two of you would come back together, which seemed to align with the astrology too, as far as there's going to be Mercury retrograde energy going on. So looks like that could be what's at play there. All right, and the prosperity message says, as you endeavor to create a prosperous life, you may encounter unexpected reversals that cause you to shift directions. This is a good thing, so there is nothing to fear. Perhaps an opportunity you sought went to someone else. Perhaps you pursued something that you suddenly realize is not in your highest good. You might not be 100% clear on where you need to go, but you are certain that things are not going as planned. Circumstances are not in your control right now. Wait it out. All will be well. Even better, actually. Trust. So yeah, definitely a positive message there as well. And yeah, like I said, looking at this in the outcome position, even if you are in some kind of a situation like that, looks like it might start to clear out by the time we get into very early January. So it doesn't seem like it'll be much of a long-term thing to overcome. So hopefully that resonated for you guys. We'll wrap up there. I hope you guys have a good holiday season, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.